Well, Julie was just kind of giving me a briefing on this list of 18, and, I can remember just several months back, that list wasn't near as robust as it is now. And if you look at the numbers there, we have 34 positions, funded positions, and we have 4 vacancies, not to mention potential retirees that we kind of know that are going to happen. So bottom line, it looks like we're in pretty good shape. Is that it?
Yeah, shall we start the meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody gonna call it to order?
Yes, I call the meeting to order. Brian McManus, Civil Service Chair, August 10th, 4 p.m., 2023. Can I get a roll call of my fellow attendees?
Joshua Wilson, Commissioner.
Ray Mitchell, Commissioner.
Julie Good, Secretary Examiner.
Jeff Young, Deputy Chief.
All right, meeting is called to order. So first action item is to approve the minutes from the July 13th, 2023 meeting. I had no updates on that. I don't know if my fellow commissioners do.
I have nothing further to add.
Me neither. I make a motion that we accept it as written.
I'll second it.
All right, motion is approved. On to new business, staffing and recruiting update. Chief?
Oh, well, hey, thanks for coming, you guys. I apologize. We're having some massive computer issues. I'm sure Julie can attest to that. So not able to stream with you guys today and video wise, but we have been very, very busy recruiting applicants, and we're, working on stuff. We have 2 pending retirements, and with that, we're going to have 6 openings after the retirements. So with the staffing update, with the lateral positions, we are currently waiting on the final paperwork for 1 individual. We had another person apply that is a lateral from Central Washington. So we have a command interview with that candidate on Monday. And we have another one that is coming from down south in King County, another lateral. So this is great news for us. We just finished up with the background investigation on that candidate. Commander Thomas had submitted the background memo yesterday. There was just a couple little things that we needed to amend on that, but we're waiting for the psychological and the medical exam for that one. So once we get that, it's going to be great. We just hired Officer Patrick Schreiber. He's one of our advanced candidates. He previously worked up in Skagit County. So he didn't fully complete probation up there, but we were fortunate enough to pick him up on our end. So he just started. Julie, do you remember what day he started? I want to say it was like July 23rd.
I'm going to put me on the spot. Give me just a moment here.
I can't remember the day, but it was right before Aquafest.
July 24th.
Yeah, so the Monday before Aquafest is when he started. So we have him. There's another advanced candidate that came from King County. We have her. Well, she did her medical today, right? And then her psych is tomorrow. So that's going to be fantastic. We're hoping to get her on board. We could potentially get her on board by September 1st at the rate we're going with that, which is outstanding. And then we have another command interview with an advanced candidate coming up this week. And we have 2 entry levels doing polygraph, and we have 4 interviews scheduled with entry level guys next week. So we are really working hard for you, and we really appreciate all your support. Any questions for me?
Yeah, Chief. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Ray. No, you go ahead, Ray.
Who is the lateral you said we're real close to hiring? I see we have 3 of them on here.
Let's see. I just want to get to that, Commissioner. Hang on one second.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, on the lateral list, it is number 1.
Amber.
And then number 3 is the one that we have the interview with on Monday. Number 2, we are just waiting for the paperwork to come back.
Nice.
Okay, Chief, and you said that we have, when I look at the numbers here, it says we have 34 funded authorized positions, and we have 4 vacancies, and we have 2 that we know that are going to be retiring. Is that what you said?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, and with our robust hiring process, in theory, we can go out and try to backfill the two that were retiring, so that when one person leaves on Monday, or Friday, that new person might come online Monday, ideally.
We're hoping for that, and one of the things that we have an issue with, of course, is just the amount of time it takes for certain things as part of the process, which is to say that we have to wait for the results of the background. We have to, get them
Yeah.
through the psych and the medical. So background, if we do it in-house, we can do it a little bit faster, but as far as capacity goes on that one, we have to be very selective. So like I said, Commander Thomas just did the background on the one candidate. We're probably going to have him do the background on another one, and then public safety testing does the rest. And when public safety testing does it, they're about 8-9 weeks maybe with their background if we're lucky. Otherwise it can be a little bit longer. So we're constantly working on ways to streamline that process and get those turnaround times cut down to our advantage, so we can get a person hired and on the street. I mean, as a sidebar to that, obviously we love the lateral candidates and we love the advanced candidates because, we bring them in and, here you go. I do solemnly swear, and now they're on the street. So we love that.
One other thing, Chief, you mentioned that, is he a chief or Commander Thomas? I don't know what his title is.
Commander Thomas.
Commander Thomas, when he does these interviews, are commissioners allowed to attend those, not ask anything, but just attend them?
You mean like the command interviews, or are you talking about the background interviews?
Well, any of the interviews, I guess what I'm saying. Are we allowed to sit in on those?
I would almost think that would not be appropriate, because if there's some sort of a challenge that would come up, you would be the ones to hear that challenge.
Yeah,
I don't know that it would be
discussed that before.
appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. So follow up on Ray's, obviously you guys are killing it. So 2 questions. One, at the current rate, let's say no one else retired next year, but let's say we got 6 positions on the horizon. We could theoretically be staffed up by mid-year next year. Is that fair to say?
That is what we're hoping for. So we have the budget cycle coming up too. And as you
Right.
know, we have been without a traffic officer since, I want to say, about October of 2021. So it was right before I came on when Officer Ackerman retired. So we're trying to fill that position. And then we're still looking to try to expand our department. So there's some other positions that we're looking to add and expand the department. So yes, Commissioner, we could definitely get to that point as long as we keep going the way that we're going.
Right. So we're under the new budget cycle. Are we going to request more headcount for the department?
Yes, sir.
How many are you projecting? Do you know, Chief?
What we are looking for is 2 critical fills, which one is the traffic officer, the other is a records technician, which will specialize in the public disclosure. I think you probably saw that we have recently deployed our Axon body-worn cameras.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we are getting a few more of those public disclosure requests as a result of the body-worn camera. So we definitely need that position on our support side, and then of course the traffic officer. And we've had, since January 1 of 2020, we've had 2,330 accidents, and in the last year we've had 6 fatalities. For a community our size, we have got to do something to interdict that and disrupt the behaviors that are causing those things. The one that we just had last Thursday, horribly tragic and horrific. So we have to do something, and that's why the traffic officer is one of our #1 priorities.
Well, that's
And
great.
Chief, now you're talking about the traffic that's all included within this 34, correct?
That one is going to, I think, be a fill. So we need to do that. So what we have, when you look at that sheet there, I believe the traffic officer is just a vacancy that we're holding. We're actually asking for another position to be added with that one there. So
Okay,
it's
so
gonna
that
take our
number
number.
that 34 would increase
Yes.
And
and,
forget the budget, Ray, we go to 36 and then an additional headcount for the public information or record specialist.
okay,
Yes,
so, I understand the need for both those positions, but, how often do you look at the population growth in Lake Stevens? We don't have to wait for a census, or is it based on the number of calls they have where we assert to the council that, hey, we need budget for X amount more officers?
So the current projection of person or people living in the city is about 41,000 plus, just shy of 42,000. So right now we are below the national average, which is 2.25 officers per thousand. So what we're doing is we are looking at that and we're making those adjustments. What we have to do is understand that there are competing interests and competing needs across the city, so we can't be the department that says, hey, look, give us everything that we need while ignoring public works or the parks department or whatever other positions we have. So, we're being mindful of that and we're being fiscally responsible. We're looking to expand the department at scale. So we're hopefully going to be asking for some other positions, and maybe even budget amendment requests will be coming down to expand those officer positions and other positions as we progress forward. And you'll see that this year and probably into next year as well. Not even probably, it's definitely going to happen.
How does that
Chief, do you
work?
know when, sorry, Ray, do you know when the council is going to be reviewing those budget requests? Do you know when they're going to be actually looking to maybe vote on that?
I would surmise sometime in the fall. The budget requests are due in final form, I want to say next week on the 18th, and then council will resume their sessions in September. So I'm guessing probably October, November is when they're going to be voting on that, and we have to have a finalized budget in November.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Is
Ray?
it appropriate or, when you get near your budget proposal to the council, can the chief, come in and present that to us, or is that inappropriate? So that we kind of understand what's going on for the budget requests? And maybe we can lobby on the police department's behalf. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I will look into that and get back to you.
The budget's up.
Yeah, I don't think we have to wait, Ray. I think we can talk to council members and the mayor now and just kind of start the grassroots effort and represent the Civil Service Commission. We know, we see the numbers every month of what we're under, what we're over, and what they're projecting. So I don't think we have to wait to start pushing city council a little bit to do the right thing.
Well, I just want to have.
I already started.
Want to have supporting data, whether it's calls of service or whether it's the population growth or something to base my support of additional officers.
Yeah.
I think it's the roundabouts, Ray. Just blame it on the roundabouts. Everyone blames everything on the roundabouts. So that's all we need, right? No, that's great news. The other question I had probably for Julie. Julie, do you think the changes we've made as a Civil Service Commissioner team and commission to kind of streamline things, do you think that's been helping our efforts to increase the number we have on our rosters? Just kind of pulse check that we do the right thing there. Is it working?
Oh, I think so. I defer that to the chief for a final answer, but I would say absolutely, because every week I'm funneling new candidates to him instead of waiting for a month. And so we're able to get a jump on other agencies and grab some folks before they have a chance to apply anywhere else.
Great.
And
Chief?
yes, I believe that has had a significant impact and it has been beneficial. We are kind of moving in light speed in terms of getting the candidates from Julie to us. Matter of fact, she had sent over another application. Was it Monday, Julie?
Yes.
So she sent it over Monday morning, and by Monday afternoon, I already had the email into the candidate trying to, get information from him. So yeah, from my perspective, it has been very beneficial and helpful.
Right. Well, we won't until we're staffed up. We won't share best practices with any other civil service commission and any other city. You know, just let's keep it a secret for now, right? It's secret to our success.
That's
Awesome.
great to hear. I'm really
Really
glad to hear about how things are going. As another question, we're looking at the two upcoming retirements. Do we have an estimated date for those, and how soon is that coming compared to us filling these positions?
One of those retirements is coming up on August 31st. The other one, and we just received information, is December 1st. And then we have two other officers that we're projecting to retire. And I don't have any dates or estimations on that right now. But given the fact that we have the candidates that we do in the pipeline, we should hopefully be able to almost seamlessly transition from the retirement to having a new officer on board.
Right.
It's good news. Really good news.
Thanks. That's why I was asking. So thank you.
So then, Chief, another question for you. Once we get fully staffed, are you guys looking to do, obviously that fatality last week was presumed to be alcohol related, right? Are you guys looking to try and do any kind of, traffic enforcement where you're kind of, we used to call it hunting, right? For people who are driving under the influence, any kind of special programs or projects you can project? Or
yeah, so we also participate in Target Zero enforcement, which means that's the statewide partnership. We actually hosted the TZT task force last December when they did Night of 1,000 Stars, and that just basically says we're flooding the streets, law enforcement wide, to try to reduce the amount of collisions and traffic related violations, to include impaired driving. One of the things that we have to remember too is that alcohol is not always the impairment factor. So
right.
we have an officer that is currently on our staff that we are sending to drug recognition expert school and reconstruction school. So we want to be able to provide that full spectrum of services. So yes, we are looking to expand our traffic enforcement. One of the things that we have been telling our staff is that, hey, we've done enough traffic education over the last 18 months. We need to start issuing some citations, because that is what changes behavior. We can pull people over and say, slow down, or, make sure you come to a complete stop. But we're at a point now, and like I said, with 2,300 and plus accidents in the last 3 years, that's pretty scary. And we've had almost 475 accidents in 2023 alone. And here we are at just August 10th. So we have, since Officer Ackerman retired, we have seen a steady increase in the number of collisions. Now, we can try to blame the roundabouts, but what we have seen, especially at 204 and 9, is that we're starting to see a decrease in the number of collisions that are going on there, because people are starting to realize, oh, if I'm in the left lane, here's what I do. If I'm in the right lane, here's what I do. So we are starting to see a little bit of a normalizing trend at that particular location. But there are some other real problem spots that we have in the city that we need to start aggressively enforcing and trying to change the behaviors there. So I hope that answers your question, sir.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. All for it. Even being a business owner that serves people alcohol, we talk to people all day and our employees all day about it. Hey, we want you coming back tomorrow, so not too much tonight, unless you're walking home, right?
Right.
And we usually we're pretty good about that, but you never know when someone's coming from another establishment or from home and they're already, they're quiet. They just come in. You don't even know they're intoxicated, barely speak, and
Right.
we're trying to do more outreach with our employees to kind of recognize that, kind of do a better look than otherwise. What can I get you? So it takes a lot of work. It takes work on the industry side, and it takes work on law enforcement side to get it right. So I'm glad to hear that.
I know when Ackerman was down on Lundin, by Lundin Park, where it goes to 25, or up on 204 when you're coming into town and it goes to 35. That was a target rich environment, And those people really adjusted their driving habits in those areas. You know, one other
Yeah.
thing, Chief,
We'll need them on Great Road next then, Ray.
one other thing, Chief, I noticed that in the past, we spent a lot of time talking about incentives to get laterals to come here and that. What are we doing to retain our officers so that our pay scale is, you know, the same as other like-sized departments? Because I'm worried that we might, you know, we might lose some of these people if we don't step up and pay them money.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Commissioner. We are currently in negotiations right now with the Lake Stevens Police Officers Guild. So we are working on those issues right now. I can't really speak too much to that because we just started negotiations. So we're working on it. I
But do you
guess
know
that's our
how-
best answer.
Do you know how we compare to, let's say, Marysville or Everett?
So it's kind of interesting. In what was it, late 2022, the county and Everett and I believe Marysville got a certain contract that was ratified and that worked out with the city that gave a certain percentage increase. One of the things that we have to remember with that is that we are on the front side of that. So when we do the 3-year contract, say it goes into effect on, and just for the sake of discussion, it goes into effect on January 1st of 2024. Well, in 2026, we're going to see the county, Marysville, and some other agencies start their contract negotiations. So when you think about it, we're on the front side of it, and then they're somewhat catching up. Like the county was catching up, where they hadn't had any significant raises or whatever for a while. So we are, I think right now, at least on par or within a few $100s a year, a few $1,000s a year in terms of salaries. I don't have those numbers right in front of me, unfortunately, but I think we're competitive, and we have a unique department that has unique opportunities, and we provide a lot of high quality training. We're working on getting all take home cars. We're working on all these different things. So we have an attractive department. What really is hurting everybody right now across the state, because I've been talking to a lot of background investigators and other folks with other agencies across the state, as far away as, you know, Walla Walla and, you know, down south and such. And what is really hurting us, quite frankly, is the perception of law enforcement, number one, and number two, the legislative things that are, you know, restricting how we can do our job and the other stuff. Because I've talked to some other folks that are in other states and they're still able to recruit. So we're trying to get that normalized again to where people want to come into the profession, to where it's not looked at as a profession where, oh, you don't want to go into that because, you know, you could either get sued or go to jail for doing your job.
Yeah.
Chief,
No one wants
I also noticed that they're starting up a new academy, police academy here in Lake Stevens. So I went to it last time, and
Oh, the Citizens Academy, Ray?
yes, and Brian and Josh, they might even want to go to it.
That would be fantastic to have you guys in that class. And yeah,
I tell you, I've been around police farms for a long time, but I tell you, it was very eye-opening.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been to Citizens Academies. They're good.
yeah, so that's going to be starting up in September.
Chief, do you want to briefly mention the sergeant's process?
Oh, yes, thank you. We are currently working with public safety testing to facilitate a sergeant's assessment center. The dates for that right now are September 12th, and on September 13th, we're going to be doing a work product review. So, are we having a Civil Service Commission meeting in September, Julie, or are we going to come back in?
I know we got to talk about that. That's on the agenda to talk about.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we'll have some sort of update for the commission with regard to the assessment center in September. But if not, we'll definitely give it to you in October. And then we're hoping to get at least one person promoted in October or November.
That's great. Well, I think, you know, to tab on Ray, what you were talking about retention, and this is my shameless plug, but we got really good leadership with the Chiefs. We got a good offer for police officers as far as variety of what you can do, you know, from accident investigation to marine, you know, all kinds of things we can do, right? That a lot of other departments don't have that capability. They're not in that environment. So I think it starts with good leadership at the top and create that culture of accountability and trust. And boy, I mean, why would you go somewhere when you're enjoying the people you're working with and the people you're working for, right? That's your best retention you can possibly get. It's not always money. So.
And let's not forget the stellar Civil Service Commission that we have.
Man, you had to choke that one out, didn't you, Chief?
Not at all. That is totally heartfelt. Very heartfelt here.
Fantastic. All right. Let's move on to new business unless Ray, do you have anything else or Josh?
No, all my questions were answered.
All right. So we had the one agenda item of determining if we're going to meet in September, because I know Julie, you're out, I think, right?
Yeah, I'll be at a
During
conference.
call. Is there a better date that works for you in September?
We could do the 3rd. No, can't do that either. There's I was gonna say the third Thursday, but there's actually a regional recruiting event at the Armed Forces Center in Marysville that just got scheduled yesterday on that day. So we could
Okay.
look September 29th, it'd be the 4th Thursday.
The
Or we
28th. Am I looking at
Yeah,
September 28th, right?
28. Or we
That would
could
work for me if
punt
it
to
works for the
October.
fellow commissioners. Yeah, if it works for the other commissioners, September 28th would work for me.
I believe it'll work for me. I don't think I have any plans throughout September.
Okay.
Works for me.
Okay,
Did we have a?
Julie, that works for your schedule, Julie?
I can catch that. Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. So there you go. We'll have a meeting in September. I want to keep our momentum going if we can. So any other new business that we need to discuss today?
Do you have any
I have no
legislative
new
updates? Sorry, Josh.
Oh, no, never mind. Go ahead.
I don't think he heard you.
Are we at legislative updates now?
I think so.
Yeah. So nothing really new to report right now. And if I may, I'd like to request that we pull that off of the agenda for us for right now, because we're not in a legislative session. So there's not a whole lot of stuff coming out. So if you're good with that, we can come back to it once we start back up with the legislative session.
Yeah, I think Chief, and when you know that you're going to have something to say, maybe just get it on the agenda with Julie, and then we'll know that.
Absolutely, sir.
Awesome. Any other new business from Ray, Josh, anybody? All right. Well, I'm really pleased to see that things are moving the way we were hoping they would when we started tweaking stuff. So this is really good news. Great job, Chief. Let everybody else know. Good job. Julie, obviously plowing through all the work. So thank you.
Thank you.
If we don't have anything else, I'll look for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Excellent. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.